Hello, I'm Gavin and this is Hellhound Leather, and today we're going to be going over how to use the acrylic single Buscadero pattern. This is the pattern that we use in the shop for customers all the time here. It's going to come with a 5-piece acrylic pattern set with a billet and buckle end. Everything's already marked out, all the holes. It's kind of difficult to size a Buscadero in the beginning if you don't really know where to start. A lot of people have different tutorials and they have pattern packs, and I've used a lot of them over the years, and it was just always kind of difficult for me to really grasp how to measure for a Buscadero belt. I was always off by at least a few inches, for years, and a lot of people say they have the same problem, and they asked us to make this pattern. So here it is. First thing you want to do, obviously, is get the measurement of yourself or your customer to find the center hole of the belt. On this pattern, the billet end that we have here, center hole is obviously the center hole. We just put 5 on there, standard. You can increase it or decrease it. And the center hole goes over here. The center hole on the belt is marked. We generally leave 5 inches on the outside of that hole to tuck under the other side of the belt, just for stability. This is a Ranger style Buscadero. So in order to get the correct measurement for your belt, we want to start from the center hole and work to the center loop, holster loop on the pattern. And that is going to be 1/4 of what your overall measurement is. So if we have a 40-inch measurement, this is going to be 10 inches. This pattern is set to a 43 because generally most of the belts we do are somewhere between a 40 and a 45, and so 43 seemed like a good fit. We don't have to adjust too much, but we do need to measure from the center hole to the center holster loop. And right now that's about 9 1/4. And so in order to adjust that, you just move the center hole out so that it measures 10 inches right there, and just extend it a bit. If you're going to score your leather, what you want to do is score down the leather here and then adjust so that you don't have to worry about bridging this gap here. From there to the center of the back is another 10 inches from the center of this hole, and here is the middle of your back of the Buscadero. And if you want to mark that spot for later, you'll know exactly where your bullet loops are going to go. We do sell a separate bullet loop template. We have them in 45, 357, the whole range of things. And if we don't have anything that you're looking for, just write us. We can always make another one. And that way you would know exactly where the center of your bullet loops are going to sit. Now, moving on from that, you've got another 10 inches to the other side hip, and then another 10 inches to the end of your buckle. Now, this obviously has a lot of extra space on this side. So our pattern comes in pieces so that it can be adjusted in or out as you need. And so just move this end pattern or end piece into just the inside lip of where your buckle sits. Now, exactly where this is going to sit depends on the type of buckle you're going to use and how fat the front lip of your buckle is. And so we just set the buckle down in place where you want it. This particular buckle sits exactly here. However, if we use a buckle with a smaller lip on it, we're going to want to place that, and then we'll have to move the pattern in another 3/4 of an inch in order to get our center hole. So if you're doing a belt that's significantly smaller, you may need to adjust both ends quite a bit. If you score around the outside of the template, you can move both ends in quite a bit, as far as you need to. You can also stack up several pieces and make a belt that is quite a bit shorter. However, if you're making a belt that's longer than the template, it's just a little bit more tricky. Now, if you move your ends out, you're going to have a big space in between the template pieces. And gapping that bridge with your awl in a straight line is not going to be very easy. And so what we recommend is put your pattern together and score on the leather past the break, and then slide it out and line your pattern back up with that line to extend it farther out. That way it just keeps your lines straight. And cutting a straight line for a belt by hand is a horribly ridiculous thing. It's almost always wavy. You can never quite get a straight line. And so another thing we recommend is to have a good weight to set on top of your pattern. And that way you can use your knife to follow the edge of the pattern all the way down. The only problem is if you don't have a weight and you go too far, you're going to slide off and ruin your entire piece of leather. And so you really do have to pay attention to what you're doing. I've ruined several belts over my career by not paying attention, and there's just little things here and there. One of the big things that will ruin a piece is getting your pattern perfectly fit, cutting it out, and then realizing there's a huge blemish where you didn't see it before. And that's why all of our patterns come in clear acrylic, so that when you place it down, you can find your exact position and also inspect the leather underneath your pattern for all those blemishes. Because wasting a couple inches of leather cutting around a blemish is not really a big deal, but wasting an entire Buscadero worth of leather because you didn't see that one nasty scratch right in the middle of it is infuriating. So now that you found your center point on your Buscadero, you've got everything adjusted the way you want, and you have it cut out to match. You're going to want to put some bullet loops on it. Now we sell the bullet loop templates in 45, 357, 38, 32, just a wide range of bullet loops. And if we don't have anything that you're looking for, just write us and we can make something up. But what you want to do is find the center of your belt again. And finding the center of your belt after it's cut out and sanded down is pretty easy. You just find the center point of your holster loop and then measure out a quarter of what your total belt length would be, just like we showed you before. And then you'll want to set the template on top wherever you want, the 6, 10, 15 loops, however many you want, and just adjust it from there. And with the template that we have online, it's easy, just mark the holes and then punch them out however you normally do that. And so that's pretty much it. Using the template is super easy. If you have any questions, if you need any kind of help or guidance at all, just call us, let us know. You can write email, text, get a hold of us on Instagram. So this is really the simplest explanation I can think of on how to build something like this. And if you'd like to see exactly how everything comes together and we put together a full Buscadero, we have another video on that where we build the Ghostwood Buscadero. It's our most popular Buscadero by far. And so look for that on our channel. Thanks.